What up, everybody? We are to the final 2 episodes of season 2 of Raising Kanan. Kanan has moved out. His relationship with Rock is shaky at best. He doesn't want to talk with her. He has found out she has lied about a lot of things and done a lot of shady business in her time. And now he has moved in with Famous. So this sets the table for the introduction of the infamous character Breeze. And we've been waiting for all season. We expect probably around the end of episode 10 or somewhere in episode 10, the season finale, to meet Breeze. So let's take a look at exactly who Breeze is and then get into some final predictions. Hoping this is my final video I make, who is Breeze. This is like part 6 or so in this series, but let's go ahead and get into it. Power season 2. Kanan first gets out of jail and he is at Ghost Condo or whatever it was, and they're all talking, and he's talking about Roland, and you know how Kanan set up Ghost to kill Roland, even though Roland was not the guy who was responsible for the robbery or whatever had happened. But Kanan played Ghost and made him think it was Roland, and he said his plan, he got out of Ghost playbook, and it was to take out the boss like Ghost did Breeze. So we know Breeze was the boss. But it also, in season 2, Kanan told Sean that when he got locked up, he was running things. Kanan, he told him, that's what he told Sean. So Breeze was the boss. But at the same time, in those days, Kanan was the one who was actually running things. So I'll get into how that works out after I get going through over a few things about who actually Breeze is. In Power season 3, Kanan takes Tariq to Breeze's old apartment to give him a history lesson. And when Tariq asked Kanan if this is where he lived, he said, no, this is my boy's Breeze apartment. I lived in the building next door. So that could be actually the place he moved into with Famous, or that could be another place. But he did live in the building next door to Breeze. I think in the same episode, Kanan tells Tariq that Ghost came in and killed Breeze while he was watching Jeopardy, shot him in the back of the head, didn't give Breeze even a chance to get scared. And we move forward into season 4. We hear Breeze brought up again when Tariq is now taken hostage by Jukebox and Kanan. And basically Ghost is explaining to Kanan why he did what he did, just because that same episode in season 2 when Kanan told Sean he was running things, that he also said that something similar to Sean. But basically Ghost kept coming up to Ghost and Tommy kept coming up to Breeze and Kanan, trying to talk them into doing something that they didn't want to do. Probably expanding or something, but they didn't want no parts of it. And basically, since they got in the way of Ghost's future, they had him killed. But anyway, they were talking about this, and they were talking about Kanan got locked up. He had Breeze killed, and he had Kanan locked up so he could take over. So this was in the same time frame that Kanan got locked up, is around the same time when Ghost killed Breeze. And then in season 4, after Tariq is Kanan frees Tariq from Jukebox, and Tariq is in the car with Dre. He told Dre that his dad, Tommy, and Kanan ran drugs for a man named Breeze. And then we finally hear about Breeze again in the final episode of Power when Tariq comes to Ghost's hotel room and Ghost wants him to confess. And he explains how he had to kill Breeze. He left him with no other choice, but he did give Breeze one final chance to change his mind. But since Breeze got in the way of his future, he had to do what he had to do. So now, I want to get into a time in Power that will show you a similarity to how things went with Ghost and Tommy and Breeze and Kanan. So let's go to season 4 of Power. Ghost is in jail and Tommy is now the Connect and Julio is the distro, right? Under him there's premieres, and 2 of those premieres is Cristobal and Dre. So Dre and Cristobal make a plan to kill Julio and then eventually to take over for Tommy. So very similar plan what Ghost did. But it was Ghost and Tasha. Tommy didn't have anything to do with the definitely not Kanan, and I don't think he had anything to do with Breeze either. So Tommy was innocent in this situation because it was Tasha who actually was calling the shots, because it also in season 4 she said if you would have killed Breeze like I had told you to 10 years ago, we wouldn't be in this mess. So it was Tasha, because she wanted Ghost, just like you see Dre tell the Jimenez that he wants to be the biggest drug dealer in New York City. That was Tasha's dream for Ghost. But yeah, so they took off. They killed Julio. They took over for Tommy for a short period of time as the premier. So you could look at it like that Breeze was in Tommy's position as the Connect, Kanan was the distro, and Ghost and Tommy were the premiers. Either though I think they were doing things a little bit different, because it says they were actually running drugs for Breeze. So I think they were actually dropping off to different small distributors throughout the area. But I don't know how they were working it. But that's the best comparison I can give you on that. So let's get into the top candidates as we get closer to learning who Breeze is, because we know now Kanan is going to try to go on his own in the Thomas family. Marvin might be killed, though a lot of people think he's still living. I personally think he's dead, and that's going to have a tremendous impact on both Kanan and Jukebox, since Jukebox just kind of started mending her relationship with Marvin. Now it gets ripped from her. And then Kanan, that was in the family. As far as the game goes, Marvin was the one he could always talk to. That was the one he could tell his secrets to and keep it real with. That was the uncle he could just be open with and keep it 100 with as a kid. Now he gonna lose this person in his life, and that's where Breeze is going to come in. And let me say one thing before one more thing about Breeze. What we don't know about Breeze, even though a lot of people try to pretend like they know, we do not know. Before I get into the top candidates for Breeze, we don't know Breeze's age. I'm telling you right now, it was never mentioned in Power, the age of Breeze. If you have the age of Breeze, buddy, please cite the episode in your comment when you say, oh, Breeze can't be Ghost's dad, Breeze can't be Malcolm Howard. Here's to, oh, Breeze, it was said Breeze was only a couple years older than Ghost. No, it wasn't. That was never said in one of the episodes. I told you what was said about Breeze in these episodes, and his age was never said. Breeze could have been 400 years older. He could have been a 12-year-old kid. We don't even know. All right? But let's get into the top candidates for Breeze. Obviously, who I think Breeze is Ghost Dad, whoever that may be. His name in whatever the credits was Curtis St. Patrick, named after 50 Cent, obviously the founder of the show. His actual name is Curtis Jackson, so that's another reason why I think it might be Breeze, because his name is actually Curtis, similar to just like the founder of the show. And I made a whole video on why Ghost Dad is most likely Breeze, and I'm not going to get into all what I went into in the video now, but that is the number one candidate I had, and that's who I believe Breeze is going to be. Number two is Malcolm Howard, Detective Malcolm Howard, Kanan's dad. I actually jumped him up to number two is who I think he's going to be, who it possibly may be, just because I made a video on this, and when I made the video, I told you I laughed when I first heard, because a lot of fans were commenting that Howard is Breeze, and I kept hearing this theory over and over again, and I told you the first time I heard it, I laughed. But the more we get into this season, the more I'm convinced that it might be Malcolm Howard, because we saw in the most recent episode when Kanan had to stay the night at his place, he had to go out through the back door because he didn't want to be seen. So this might be a reason why Howard ends up moving into apartment 5D. That would, if we see apartment 5D somewhere in Raising Kanan, we see a guy watching Jeopardy. We already know what time it is. But if we see Howard moving into apartment 5D, it might be Howard though, because he doesn't want Kanan to have to leave out the back door and not feel comfortable. Alright, so anyway. Number three, this was my original choice before I heard the two theories about Ghost Dad and Howard, and which were convincing to me. My OG choice ever since season 1 of Raising Kanan was my boy Unique. Unique is honestly my favorite character in all of Power. He's gangster to the core. He like the people I know. He real. Some of these characters, you honestly couldn't see some of these characters actually in the streets like that, but Unique definitely for real, keeping it 100, and I definitely think he would be a great Breeze character. Other theories from different fans. I've heard a lot of theories that Symphony Basket is actually Unique, that he's been doing things behind the scenes, playing rock behind the scenes, whatever. A lot of people say Symphony is the only one that they can see watching Jeopardy all the time, and that is true. And one thing I forgot that I did leave out, Kanan said that Breeze was strong, but he was not smart. And and a lot of people think that could be in two different ways. This could mean he's just not smart in general, like we've seen Unique mess some words up and call things different things and had to be corrected. Or we could see somebody like, it could be Symphony, who's actually very smart, but he might not be street smart. So he might be, and we see he is strong because he has stood up to Howard. He stood up to Burke. He stood up to even Rock. He wasn't gonna just bow down to Rock. So we've seen Symphony. He is strong, but he might not be, and he's smart too because he's a professor at a college, but he might not be street smart. And that might have been what Kanan was talking about when he said that when he said that about him, because he said that Breeze kept the same routine. Symphony might have just kept the same routine and watched Jeopardy every day. Might have just been what he did, not because he's dumb or something, not just because he's not street smart and he allowed himself to get learned or whatever. Okay, after that we have Famous, and this is one theory a lot of people are saying. My only problem with Famous being Breeze is the fact I'd understand if you flip-flopped Breeze and Kanan's position as Kanan, if Kanan was the boss and Breeze was the guy who was just running things, I could see that definitely, but I just couldn't ever see in a position where Kanan actually is under Famous in the game. I just can't see that, but a lot of people are saying that Famous is Breeze, and I definitely have always kept my I've definitely always kept my mind open to that theory. Okay, I don't know the character's name. I've been hearing a couple people saying this is Breeze too. But this guy has been around since season 1. He was introduced, I think, in a club scene, and he's saying he's down for whatever. And you see him eventually taking over the New Jersey Trap, and this is the guy who, when Unique gets his way to take over New Jersey for Rock, they have a meeting with this guy, and she tells this guy that he could be Unique's lieutenant or he can go, and he ends up leaving. A lot of people are saying that actually, I don't know the character's name, but they're saying that is actually Breeze. So it's another possibility. We have Cartier Duns for Reed, possibly could step in as Breeze. We see right now Rock is trying to play him. I'm not going to get into their situation because I'm going to do another complete video on Cartier and Rock tomorrow, but that's another possibility. Maybe Marvin survives the shooting and he starts going by Breeze to stay low-key from the Italians, and just goes by that and ends up just taking upon that nickname. Lulu, another possibility. I don't think so though. That's what a lot of people were saying in season 1, that Lulu is Breeze. I haven't heard that theory come up in season 2 though. Some people comment and they say that Breeze is D-Wiz's brother. A possibility, character we heard mentioned in season 1, he had some guns stashed around the house, and that's where D-Wiz got the guns they shot Buck 20 with. So a possibility, D-Wiz's brother. Another possibility that I've heard a few, and this was something also, is Ghost's brother. That Breeze is actually Ghost's brother, and that would make a lot of sense when it comes to the theory that a lot of people have said that has never been mentioned in Power. But if you want to say that Breeze was only a couple years older than Ghost, or a couple years older than Kanan, whoever you're trying to say he's a couple years older than, because I've heard both, even though Ghost and Kanan weren't even the same age. That it was actually Ghost's brother. Yeah, so it's Ghost's brother. Breeze was Ghost's brother. I've heard it also said that, now this one is far-fetched, but I'm laying it all out there in this video because I'm hoping this is my last Who is Breeze video, because I'm really hoping in these next 2 episodes we find out who this person actually is. This mystery finally gets solved. But yeah, another theory is that it is Unique's brother. So I don't know if Unique's brother is in jail or if he's dead. I think he is doing life in prison. But we do know he was running things before Unique. That High Post and Unique's brother were running things before Rock and Unique were. So there you have it. A whole bunch of theories, and then it could be just a brand new character. A lot of people think Palomar is going to introduce Breeze to Kanan, or it could just be a brand new character introduced. We will hopefully find out. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think your final pick for Breeze, as we hope to find out who it is in one of the next 2 episodes.